The correspondence of Josephine, Hortense, and Madame Campan, not only while Hortense was at school, but after the pupil had become queen, shows mother, daughter, and schoolmistress in the most engaging colors. Josephine's maternal love knows no bounds. When she is making her tournée of triumph with Bonaparte in Italy, she is longing for her child. I cannot accustom myself to these long absences from my dear children. I want to press them to my heart. Pay attention to your drawing. I will bring you back some beautiful examples, and of the most famous masters. I hope Madame Campan is satisfied with you. Look upon her as a second mother, and mind all she says. Kiss her for me, my dear child. Another time Josephine and Bonaparte unite in sending presents. Madame de Campan was the affectionate friend and counselor, as well as the schoolmistress of Hortense, and we find her at every trying period of her pupil's eventful life, giving her wise motherly counsel, better counsel indeed than the indulgent, easygoing Josephine was likely to offer her. I know, writes Madame Campan de Hortense, what you desire, a seemly, even quiet home life, a competence that shall keep you from debts and creditors and privations, the society of refined, loving people who value real talent, and all in that atmosphere of bon ton for which your taste is so marked. Hortense had many admirers. Her beauty and fine qualities, as well as her rank as Bonaparte's adopted daughter, drew suitors to her feet. I know, writes Madame Campan, that there is an end to Monsieur de Blanc's suit. Many people in Paris know all about it, even to the minutest details. You have been blamed for not accepting him, and this is only another reason why you should be circumspect in all things, in order that your choice may be approved by society, be worthy of you and your own family, as well as the glory of General Bonaparte. In another letter, the young girl, who was then the best match in France, is conjured to watch her heart jealously and to beware of the least tendency to a preference. Read no romances. General Bonaparte does not approve such reading, and he was right when he said the other day, all these young heads persuade themselves that they are in love. It is true he knows the human heart well. As for you, my dear child, remember that your mother has attained a position that should raise her hopes without incurring blame for you. Think of the first consul who loves you as his daughter. Remember his kindness and his present position. Have the courage to speak to him. Tell him that your heart is free and that you are ready to obey his will as to your establishment in life. Don't cloud your star. I pray that you may always see aright. Unfortunately, we learn to draw and sing and play while young, but experience only teaches us to reflect, to know, to judge for the best, and to choose. I admire, my dear child, your good conduct, and I should have the courage to say to the first consul himself that out of 20 ordinary girls whom he might place in the midst of his staff, composed of young men who share his military duties and his glory, and who are encompassed with all the attractions of the military virtues, at 20 would be touched by the attentions and respectful assiduities of these young men. This is how his two sisters made his choice. It seems, according to what your mother tells me, that this is what he feared for you. Promise me to keep your heart free and in a condition to accept the tie that may be proposed to you, provided you have not an invincible repugnance to it. Think, in making an estimate, not to look to outward form, but to good qualities, to gentleness of disposition. If your heart be free, and you assure me it is, you will be able to weigh for yourself advantages and drawbacks. And so the correspondence ran on. Hortense, according to her letters, listened to the schoolmistress and strove to follow her worldly wise precepts. She remained at any rate true to her natural talents. She worked hard at her harp and her easel. The world soon told her that her musical inspirations were genuine melodies. They were good. Her songs obtained a wide acceptance while she was yet a very young woman. The Beau Dunois, which was the French national air under the Second Empire, was one of her minor creations. Poetess, artist, musician, delightful in conversation, full of vivacity. Josephine's daughter was a match which only the man who afterwards married her could contemplate with indifference. We are loath to part with the happy girl whom General Bonaparte loved to see bounding through the avenues of his retreat, playing on the grass or singing her own melodies to him and her mother in Eugene. For these few years of maidenhood at Malmaison comprehend all the happiness it was the lot of Hortense to know. Nor could the motherly letters of Madame Campan persuade her that in leaving her mother's chateau as the wife of Louis Bonaparte, she would enter upon a new phase of happiness. When the First Consul had resolved that Hortense should be his brother Louis's wife, Duroc, according to de Bourrienne, have roughly declined the young lady on Bonaparte's terms. Madame Campan wrote to her pupil, "You are about to contact a tie which all Europe will applaud with me. I believe I have a pretty deep perception of character and of analogies. I had remarked in both of you tastes that by their conformity assure you domestic happiness. You have sufficient resources within yourselves so that the deepest solitude would not weary you. If necessity forced it upon you, you will be the link between two families which are only one, and which are both dear to France. I predict, therefore, that you will love each other much and always. Monsieur Louis was difficult to marry. The First Consul, who knows how to find a remedy for every evil, has chosen a woman who should make him happy, having the qualities which he admires, and that man is to be commended who admires such qualities in his wife. Soon, dear friend, I shall no longer write advice to you. You will have a guide whom it will suffice to please. Now the governess has nothing more to do than rejoice in her work. A marriage based on equal position, education, tastes, and which has the approval of everybody ought to be the happiest of unions." While Madame Campan was writing this from her schoolroom to Bourrienne, who was at the very time the confidential secretary and had been a schoolfellow of the First Consul, was, according to his own chronicle, an actor in a domestic drama. To express it dramatically, of strong interest. According to de Bourrienne, one fact is certain about this marriage of V's, that there was no love in it on either side. Bourrienne, however, is contradicted by Queen Hortense in nearly all that relates to her marriage. She admits that Colonel Duroc was anxious to marry her, and that she was not disinclined, that he spoke to Murat, and that Murat encouraged his intentions. Since Bonaparte had at one time thought of Duroc for one of his sisters, it is not improbable that he would have accepted him for his stepdaughter. Hortense says that one day she was looking for a book which she had mislaid when Duroc handed it to her with a letter between the leaves. On the same day, he started on a diplomatic mission to Berlin, leaving a courier behind him who was to receive Hortense's answer through Murat. Hortense, in the confusion of her position, threw the letter unopened into a drawer in her room. When she went to the salon, the First Consul said to her, "Will I hear pretty things? You received love letters unknown to your parents?" Hortense blushed and stammered the Emperor was merely joking, but when he saw the confusion he had caused, he perceived that he had stumbled upon a truth. That night Hortense told all to her mother, and the letter was returned to Duroc unopened. Josephine had no liking for Duroc and said he was neither noble enough nor illustrious enough for her daughter. De Bourrienne pretends that Hortense and Duroc had a long correspondence which passed through his hands. But Hortense says in her memoirs that she was charged to tell her of her proposed marriage with Louis, and that this was the only time when he was mixed up with the affairs of the family. She strove honestly to like, as well as she could, the man whom her mother Napoleon gave her in marriage. The purple was glowing on the horizon, and was distinctly discernible to the persons who assisted at that sad marriage in the Rue de la Victoire in January 1802. Not the least melancholy of the assistants at the ceremony was Bonne Josephine, who saw Napoleon insist at the same time on the consecration of his sister Caroline's union with Murat, while he left his own unblessed by the church. Like Murat, Napoleon's marriage with Josephine was civil contract only.